Watch who?
Hello.
And welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
I don't think I can do it. Very first time. I can do it down there. Can't get up there at the minute.
Oh no, you're losing your voice.
Yeah, full of a cold. This is the best it's been in a few days, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it has been absolutely freezing.
Yeah, there's a lot going around. There's a lot of germs and bugs going around. I've been on the steamer. Been on the cough medicines, trying to shift stuff. But yeah, it's just sticking this.
I'm trying to think of a way to fit this into Dæmos Rising, but I can't. There's a lot of smoke in that house outside. That's you in the steamer.
Yeah, sure. That's me in my steamer.
We have been watching our way through Doctor Who and into the 90s, the wilderness years, as they call them. Wilderness Years 2 coming soon, probably. But we have got...
Ever the optimist, Mark.
We've got to the end of the wilderness years. This is our last one.
I know. Can't believe it.
For now, no more spin-offs for now. There'll be a few more coming up in the future, but we're going in year order, everybody. So that's why we've done some and not others just yet. But this takes us up to 2004.
This is like just before it comes back, is it then?
Yeah, it comes back in 2005.
Gosh.
And last week, Autumn 3 was 1999.
So there's a big gap.
So there has been a gap. There were other spin-off bits and pieces, but it wasn't like official characters. There was some weird stuff. There was, just stuff that you don't really want to see. That is not even Doctor Who characters. I have actually spared you quite a lot of other stuff, you know.
I mean, overall, I don't think it's been too bad. The hardest thing has been how it's been, if that makes sense. And I've said that a lot. I feel like anyone listening to this in order is going to be like, oh my gosh, she's saying it again. To me, it's been weeks since I've said it. That has been the hardest, is because we've not been doing it in like a story order. You know, sometimes we jump to something else, then we go back to the next story, and it's like, where has this come from? Or now it's a new story, we've been introducing new characters, and then we never see it again. That sort of stuff. That's been the hardest part, I think. They've not been terrible, bar like I can think of like 2 or 3. And also, when we talk about things like the effects and stuff like that, we talk about that on the main show. That's no different.
Well, so yeah, it's Dæmos Rising. I'm going to get this wrong every time. Dæmos, Demons.
I thought it was Demons Rising.
Well, yeah, so, you know, in the Doctor Who story that this is like based off of, the demons.
Yeah.
When the demons is written, it's got like the A and the E as like joint as some like, I don't know, Latin-y demon thing. So it's DAE, and that's what's on this one. So in the actual Doctor Who, they're called Daemons, I think, from the planet Dæmos. So I think it's called the demons, but you pronounce it Daemons. I don't know. Anyway, someone will tell us. Demons, Dæmos Rising. Anyway, it's Dæmos Rising, everyone. Before we do that, though, got an update. Okay, so everybody, from a couple of weeks ago. Oh no, yeah, well you do, but I haven't had a chance to tell you properly.
Okay.
So let's start off with the Adventures on Varos screening that I went to a couple of weeks ago. Great event, great to see it on the big screen. So for those wondering, I did go for the group photo.
Oh, yes.
So the guy that played Syl was ill and couldn't go. So there's one less person. So there's no Syl. So I did end up paying £60 for what I think is probably one of the worst photos ever of me.
I've not seen this picture.
I showed you. I sent it to you.
No, I don't think you did.
I did. I'll talk about the day as well. So it was great, and it was some of these people's first ever Doctor Who convention. So we had, I mean...
Oh, you did?
I don't know if you're going to... Yeah, I did send it.
I did get sent 12 neighbours' pictures, so, you know, I sort of forgot that you'd sent me this.
We'll get onto that in a minute. So I don't know if you recognise someone. So there was the guy, you know, the husband and wife who were watching on the TV screen that you liked. You know, they were watching
which one this was.
The reality TV Uber Eats ordeal. Perry is a bird, but you didn't see her.
Oh yeah, Perry's a bird. Yeah.
And there was the two people, and they were watching the tortures
Oh
on
yeah,
television
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, so that's the man. So that's the husband.
yeah,
And then this guy here is
yeah,
the chief guy that was working with Sil, the bald
yeah.
guy. And then this lady here she was with Perry getting transformed. So Perry was a bird and she got turned into like a lizard. She's the one
Right.
she had big blonde hair. Okay.
Sure.
And obviously we got the Doctor and Perry.
Yeah.
And then this lady next to me is called Sophie Neville, and she was the assistant floor manager.
Oh, she looks like she's like your mother or something.
Yeah, so it was great. So what they did, they showed one episode and then they asked the two guys to come down and do a talk. Okay, and I just to say, Doctor Appreciation Society, they're putting these events on and everything for the love of the show and get all the fans there and everything. But I am going to criticise some of their things, only because just all these events that I go to, every single Doctor Who event that I go to.
Can I criticise this picture slightly? Why have they decided to put a plant in it?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Okay, this is part of the day, okay? So It was literally the foyer. That is the door to the toilets where that plant is.
Right.
So all the Doctor Who events that I go to, mostly all right. Because I think we did events and stuff.
Yeah, we know how events run.
But it just shows how well we did events. Because whenever I go there, I'm like, why isn't there somebody there just saying, this is where you need to go? Why isn't there somebody that's just put a sign up to say, this is where the photos are going to be? There's always just these little things that I just think nobody's thought about doing this. So part one.
They need a Sarah mark on it.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have a rant, everybody. So part one, these two old guys coming down. So it's in the cinema and it's like raised, up high. So the guys have been watching part one are sitting right at the back of the cinema. So the guy comes on, please welcome, da 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 da. These two guys get to the top of the stairs and he goes, I had a hip replacement, I can't get down the stairs. So someone has to help getting down. And then the other guy, please welcome. So we all have to stand in silence while he tries to get down like 50 steps. It's just little things like that where it's like somebody should say, have you got any accessibility needs? Let's sit them at the front so they can just literally do one step and be on stage. But there's just this awkward silence where they're trying to get downstairs and someone's trying to help. It's just stuff like that sometimes. And then with the photos,
start saying, this is what will be. Hi, so this is a room we're in. We'll sit you down. This is what will happen. Where would you like to be seated?
Yeah. It's just little things like that where I think people just don't always think of those kind of things. And so the photos, end of part one, talk, then you go out in the interval to have your photos. So the photo guy has set up in the foyer. There's the foyer, all the tables for signings, the bar, it's the tiniest space. Again, so I come down, I'm like, oh, but yeah, I'm going to have this photo, pay my £60. There's a photographer guy, he's fiddling around with his camera, not ignoring everyone. Nobody is saying where you keep for photos. So everyone's just piling in this foyer and just gathering and we'll stand around for 10 minutes. And I was fuming. I did inside.
Was it like Earl Grey fuming?
It was getting there. I was just like, somebody, you've been, we've had an hour show already. Be ready for when everyone comes out the interval to say, hi guys, if you want your photo, line up here. But no, they're faffing around. No one's really looking. And so I was like, right, I'm just going to stand here then. This will be the queue. And then after about 10 minutes, somebody on the opposite side goes, oh, queue up here for your photo and start trying to take the money and everything. And you've got all the actors there waiting. So, I mean, I was like the second or third person to have the photo. Probably that's why it's not a great photo because I've just been fuming, like standing there, like, why isn't anybody, doing? And I don't think the lighting's great. And also, I think they should have put the person in the middle, Well, you come in and stay in the middle. So you're just all shoved in. It looks like I've just walked out the plant.
It's the plant for me because the plant takes up so much space.
I know. I mean, fair enough. They weren't given a lot of space, but again, the lighting, it was really dark there. The lighting is terrible.
Is that red thing from the photographer?
No, that's the wall of the foyer.
Right. Because I thought it looks like the way that they've centered it, he'd have been better centering it, moving that sofa over, completely recentering it. Because it looks like he's put that as a background. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think there's just not much thought into it. And you pay 60 quid, plus you have to pay an extra £3.50 if you want a digital copy, which I think is a rip-off. I'm really sorry, everyone, but the DWAS photographer is never. All of the ones that I've gone to a Doctor Who appreciation site, they're always like the lighting's terrible and it's not a great photo. I'm just going to say that on the podcast right now because you're paying a lot of money
Yeah.
and you should just get something decent. And it feels like he was just like still fiddling with the camera and stuff just before,
Yeah.
it starts. It's like, well, you've been there a long time and you've had time to set up and you're a professional photographer. But okay, just in contrast though,
Yeah.
Neighbours thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm on this run. We'll get to Dæmos Rising. I know you're all waiting for it. Right. The Neighbours thing, absolutely wonderful. London Palladium, second Neighbours thing I've done. And the way that that is organised, listen up, Comic-Cons and Doctor Who events, because you queue up, somebody takes your phone, you go up, meet them, have a nice chat and a hug and everything. They're sort of in two groups. You go up, have a chat. The person that is like the steward person is with you, takes your phone and just takes pictures the whole time. Then you have a nice group shot. It's all on your phone. You go around to the next person. So you've got a huge camera. I mean, I sent you a load of pictures.
Yeah, yeah. You sent me 12.
You follow around. And I mean, okay, meet and greet ticket is quite a lot of money. You can still make the money. But I think Doctor Who events and Comic-Cons need to move away from this school photo type of thing where it's a really expensive one shot. I mean, if I had someone with my phone taking pictures the whole time, I could have filtered through. I'm not paying £3.50 extra for all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it puts them out of work a bit, but maybe I can see that's why the Comic-Cons do it, because it's a lot of money. One shot, you're done. But I just feel like the way that the Neighbours thing was done, which was amazing, by the way,
and you had
absolutely
hundreds
brilliant.
of people at that, you said, didn't you?
Loads of people. They get through fast. It's exactly the same. And I've never known any other events to do it like that.
It must be, maybe it's an Australian thing.
Well, it's a British promoter that does these things that go around. It's just really well done. There's someone speaking, going, "Are you ready? Blah blah. I'll take your phone. I'm going to do this. I'll walk around with you." Absolutely brilliant. Whereas these Doctor Who ones, you know what they're like. I think they're a lot of money for something that's a bit of a hit and miss. And I feel like it just wasn't balanced enough. No one's given it any thought.
Yeah.
You just think, oh, they're at their photo. And also, why do all the photos in the middle of the interval when you've got to get through everybody?
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody was absolutely lovely. Just say it was a great event and everything. But it was just, I was just fuming a lot inside, being like, can someone just organise these things a little bit better? And okay, I know I sound like a bit of an idiot, but we have done events before. If you asked me, we know what to do, and we've done a lot of successful events. And it just makes me think the amount of things that we thought about isn't a given in a lot of venues and places and things.
I mean,
so
we've scaled from like weddings to 8,000 kids coming to a show.
I'm sorry, but we could get people queued up quickly and efficiently and get your photos through in a very easy way.
We've done gigs. We've done it all. We know it.
So I know I sound like a right idiot, but they were nice events and everything. But it's just the contrast between the Neighbours one and the Doctor Who one. It was just so. Anyway, Neighbours was great. I got really nervous just before I got up to them. And I just didn't know what to say at all. I just went completely like...
In the pictures, it looks like you're having a great time, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I am. I was just asking them about how the tour was going and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I talked to Libby and Drew a bit more because I said
there's
that was
one where
like
you
my
look
time.
really happy. There's one picture where you're like, as if you have like not seen them for years.
Yeah, so they were, and the way that they are with everybody, they make you feel welcome. They make you feel like, they're all really, I don't think you'd ever get an Annika Wills at a Neighbours event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are a different level. It's like when I met that Neighbours lady at the pub ages ago on her own. I don't know. They've just got something a bit more. Maybe they're a bit more fresh into meeting people and they don't really meet people very much. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, that was
my advice to anyone running an event, and I'm sure Mark will agree with this. If you are someone that is running an event, right, walk the event. That is the thing. You walk the event like you are the person, that you are the member of the public, and that is when you'll be like, oh, I need a sign there.
Exactly.
Well, now come here. What do I need? What will happen? You might know what needs to happen, but do they see what needs to happen?
Yeah, that's exactly.
And always remember the number one rule is people are stupid. I think I must have said that phrase like 5 times a day. Like, people are stupid. People don't understand. They'll ask you simple questions like, where's the toilet? Even though you've got 10 signs that tell you where the toilets are. Like, you think you've got enough signs for a toilet, you never have enough signs where the toilet are. It's just fact. People are stupid. That's like rule 1. And rule 2...
That's the thing. That's the thing with the day.
Walk it as if you are doing it yourself.
Because everybody
came
out of the cinema and just stood in a massive pile in the foyer
and
around
if
this
plan, if your plan is, and now we all come into the foyer, that's your plan. It might be lunchtime. Everyone will congregate into this area. Great. That's your plan. You know? You might put an announcement before lunch saying, everyone can gather into lunch. If the plan is you're going to be having an organised event in there, how's that going to look?
And it's not like while we're on this, it's not like just the DWAS one or anything. When I went to that London Film Fair, when I met Christopher Biggins, massive queue to get in. One guy doing the tickets and the payments and everything to get into this place, stamping hands and everything. So a massive queue, took ages. I already booked like a photo ticket. You know, it's not like, okay, there's your ticket. Oh, if you've got a photo, you just need to head in. You can pay by cash at the door. And I had to ask that. I was like, because he just went, there you go. And I was like, well, what do I do? Where do I go for the photos? There's nobody's there to say that. And also, so you get your hand stamped in, you go into this hotel conference place, everybody's in and out. There's nobody checking hands in and out. If I had found the right time, I could have just wandered in and out for free. Nobody's checking in and out. There's nobody else around to do these things. I don't know where people are. And I just think, have a steward on the door the whole time, checking this, have somebody handing out saying, these are the times, this is what's happening. There was like something printed on the wall with bits scribbled out and stuff, but there's no way to say, if you're having photos, you need to do nobody to give an information
We
pack.
know this, Mark, because we run a venue.
Yeah.
We know that people run events because they like the nature of it.
Yeah.
Rather, as in, they're a fan of something, so they run an event rather than they want to run the event. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Oh, do you know?
It's a very different thing.
Right. Anyway, let's get on then. There's nothing much else to say about the Neighbours thing. It was great. They're all wonderful. Very exciting.
Do you need to check your blood sugars now after that ramp?
No. Oh, no. Did it come across like that?
A little, but yeah.
I haven't had a rant for ages.
I know. That's why I was like, do you need to check your blood sugar?
No, when I was waiting for you, I ate a whole thing of Pringles.
That's true. That's true. I had a 2-hour nap, listeners. We were supposed to record 2 hours ago. I had a 2-hour nap.
Right. Okay, Dæmos Rising. Here we go, everyone. We're nearly there. I know you're all waiting for us to get onto the new series, but just hear us out on Dæmos Rising, okay?
We've got this. We've got Doscars, and then we're there.
So, a bit of a sequel to The Demons, which is a really popular story. Last time when we were talking about Mind Game, we were saying about, doing like an EastEnders two-hander. And when this started, it did feel like that. It felt like, they've taken our notes on board and we're, they're doing what we said. Because this features mainly Kate Lethbridge Stewart, who we last saw in Downtime, and we know is played by somebody else later on. And then also this Colonel guy, this Douglas guy from Unit. And he was in, I don't know if you remember, the same one, the Downtime one, the Yeti with the Brigadier. And there was that weird scene with the Brigadier in that hotel lobby with that guy.
I remember that. I remember it, but I don't remember
He was sort of like the baddie Unit guy in that. That's him as well. Right. That's him. Also, the actor who plays him, I don't know if he was the Draconian, the Shakespeare alien.
No.
That's him.
No, I would not have guessed that.
So he's Draconian in the Mind Game one. So
I would not have guessed that. I would have guessed the Draconian guy was older.
Yeah, no, that seems so.
Does he do the voiceover at the start then?
No, so the voiceover is his dad, Ian Richardson. The big actor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, because the voiceover at the start felt really like prominent and like recognizable, and then you said that, and I was like, oh my gosh, was it the?
So so he's Miles Richardson, Ian Richardson's son. Ian Richardson's grandfather, fact everyone, getting this fact out now.
It'll be dangerous.
Invented the Jaffa cake. He's part of the McVitie's family. So his grandfather, this guy's grandfather, invented the Jaffa cake. So I don't think he needs the money to be doing these things. I think this is purely entertainment.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about the whole family thing. So these two are married in real life in this show.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, I think they're divorced now. But so Miles Richardson, Ian Richardson. I can see you googling it. No.
No. I'm just thinking. I'm pretty sure. You know Jamie Lang,
Oh yes, yeah, Major
he's
Chelsea.
he's part of McVitie's.
Yeah, I thought. Hang on.
Lang is a great-great-grandson of Sir Alexander Grant, who created the McVitie's digestive biscuit.
Jaffa oranges. Hang on. Jaffa cake. I mean,
when you said that, I was like,
hold it. We could have a Dæmos Rising Made in Chelsea crossover here. Just hold on a second, everyone. Richardson was born in Edinburgh, only son and eldest of 3 children of John Richardson, a manager at the McVitie and Price factory where he and his wife met, according to his son, where John invented the Jaffa cake. Oh, so he worked for Jaffa Cakes. So, yeah.
He worked for McVitie and Price.
Yeah. And then McVitie and Price is part of the family of Jamie Lang. Is that right?
I mean, Jamie Lang's his great-great-grandfather, because he's a great-great-grandson, created the McVitie digestive biscuit. So they are the creators of McVitie's, yes, because to create the McVitie's digestive and therefore the McVitie's brand, surely, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some of that McVitie's money has gone to Miles Richardson at some point. Maybe it funded Dæmos Rising. Who knows?
So when you said that, I suddenly went to Jamie Lang in my head.
Yeah.
Because he did sweets. He has that Sweets Empire.
He does Candy Kittens.
Yeah. But I remember thinking, I'm sure he was McVitie's. That's what I was Googling, sorry.
Anyway, so we've got these 2 characters. So we loved Kate Lethbridge Stewart last time. I thought she was great anyway. And it starts off, I mean, I've got this on DVD, not really bothered watching it properly until today.
No.
But I was really surprised about how well it started and like the mystery.
Yeah. Well, you told me you thought it might be boring, so I was like expecting the worst. And actually, I ended up I thought I'd watched about 10 minutes and I'd watched 25 minutes when it turns out we were having a recap of how much I'd left to watch after my 2-hour nap. So 25 minutes I'd done. I should just explain, I didn't fall asleep watching this.
No, never.
Like, I was watching it this morning while I was getting ready. So I thought I'd only watched about 10 minutes. But actually, I'd watched 25 minutes, which is probably why I was late.
Oh my God, that's another quote for the DVD. I thought I'd only watched 10 minutes, but I'd watched 25. So it's Kate Lethbridge Stewart out in the countryside. So she's obviously left her boat behind. And
her son. Her son, yeah. I can't remember who she says her son's with.
The same lady that looked after her when all those bloody chilies were after her.
Oh, yeah.
So she's off, and there's no explanation where she's going. She's just off. She's got a bit of a map or something, and there's no taxi. So lovely countryside shots, a nice crane shot. Yeah. Off she goes round into the woods. Looks great. Where's she going? Who knows?
It sets up really well, actually. It's not too like, what's happening? There's enough going on for you to be like, I can follow this. But, you know, when we meet the statue and you're like, oh, this is odd. There's a few stupid shots of that. Like, there's maybe, I think, like 5 shots too many. Whatever. The
statue looks cool, though. It's like...
they've obviously spent a lot of time making the statue and they want to make the most of those shots. Let's put it that way.
It looks cool. It is sort of a bit scary and off-puts you because she finds this statue, this big...
Off-puts you, did you say?
Yeah, off-puts you. Yeah.
Off-puts you, sorry.
It off-puts one. when one is
watching.
Off
is what I'm used to, but
but you off. It does. That's the real.
Me, sorry.
So I was off put by seeing the statue, which is like a bulked up Bok, like proper, incredible Hulk.
He's bigged up a bit, isn't he?
Yeah. So it's this.
Well, it doesn't move, so that helps.
Well, it's demon statue, and so she looks at it and she's like, "Okay, that's you're thinking, oh, is she looking for this?" And then she walks away, and then she comes around the corner and it's there. So wherever she goes, it's a bit like sort of labyrinth.
Yeah.
Open, style of.
There was one shot that was like a bit cheap. She walked off, and it panned the camera, and then she came in the next shot.
That was quite.
I don't know. I don't know. I just found it a bit of a cheap shot. Otherwise, I enjoyed the different angles of it.
So she's off, and then she sees like an Airbnb in the background. Well, I thought it looked like a nice Airbnb, lovely country house, lovely area, and that's where she meets this colonel, this ex-colonel. He's an ex.
on the street. She meets him on the street. Doesn't get to the house yet.
Oh, I thought he was. Well, he's outside the house. He wasn't in the house
because she talks about. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to go in." She's like, "Yeah, let's go in and have a cup of tea."
So he's obviously invited her for whatever reason. And we also have to remember, this is Kate Lethbridge Stewart, not part of UNIT. She's had a Yeti in her houseboat and all of that, but she doesn't really know about UNIT or anything. She does try and call the Brigadier and can't get through. There's no signal. So she's not really, she must be aware a little bit, but she wasn't in the Brigadier's life for a long time. So it's not like she knows a lot of alien stuff or anything. So this is like her first, if you're looking for like an explanation of how she became known to UNIT and part of UNIT, maybe this is what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
So they go into the house for a cup of tea. He's a bit, as you say, like haunted and a bit like there's something going on with him.
He's a bit haunted.
He is, into this lovely cottage. Lots of Brigadier mentions, and so Kate's learning about, basically, he's ex-UNIT and he stole some stuff from their vaults, basically. So after all, they've got a big vault of Auton. I like the hangar, like the vault where where all the Autons was in that warehouse. He could have gone there. It all ties up.
I might have done.
This is like the spin-off multiverse. I'm sure someone could put that together. So he went to that warehouse in Auton, let's say, looked around, took out a book from the demons, was like, this is the best Doctor Who story ever. I'm going to take some props from this. And has summoned something. There's something going on. And it's quite a slow burn, but I didn't mind it at all because both of their acting is brilliant. And I was not bored just watching them chatting in that cottage.
You have the first night where we see the ghosts and stuff. It sort of sets up quite nicely. You see him, you can hear him having voices. So there's enough to keep you intrigued as to, what's coming. Yeah, I think it sets up quite well.
And there's that shot where she looks out the window and there's a reflection and she moves away and her reflection stays there. I thought that was quite clever.
There's some really clever stuff in it.
Because we're like 2004 as well, the picture quality is really good.
Yeah.
Like the lighting actually looks a bit more cinematic. And I think maybe it's been graded or something. It doesn't look as videotapey. Well, not the version I was on DVD I was watching anyway. So it looks a bit more modern. Like the cameras have obviously got better since
the 90s.
Since the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out what happens. He takes her to see the things that he's stolen in the shed next door. Yeah. Which I wouldn't keep all of that stuff just in a random barn shed outside.
Where would you keep it, Mark?
Oh, you keep it locked up or something. He literally just opens the shed.
Up in his shed.
Yeah, but people can break into sheds and stuff, can't they? I suppose it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what he liked about it, that no one was there.
Yeah, so we see a giant maggot in a jar. Later on, you see an Auton face. I don't know if you saw that, and a Dalek gun is on the shelf. I think there's some jelly babies and things she sees later on.
She mentions the jelly babies, yeah.
So Kate is like, oh, okay, there's aliens and stuff. She's getting her head around that. This is slightly where I sort of lost what was going on. This is where I started to have my dinner. I couldn't write notes and eat at the same time. So we get another character, this like ghost man thing that's talking to him in the mirror. He's some kind of time agent person that got stuck there that was fighting the demons and doesn't exist or does exist on some other plane and can only I didn't really get any of that.
I sort of got the impression he's come from the future and he's stuck there. Like he's not in the world, so he's stuck in this sort of middle world. Hasn't quite made it to the present. So maybe he's just stuck in like this ghost. So he's not quite a form, maybe. And that's why no one really believes him, so they think he's a ghost and stuff. And he keeps trying to warn them of things, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, he's trying to warn them of something that's happening. And they're using the Colonel guy
from the future.
and talking into the Colonel guy's head, like the demony things that whoever he's woken up is trying to use him for something. This is when, they go outside, don't they? Kate and the Colonel go outside. She touches the statue because the statue turns up outside the house now, the Bok thing.
Yeah, well, she touched it outside in the forest as well.
And then now she touches it again and has some vision-y thing and gets knocked out. And there's a bit of a, tension between those two. I'm just saying, I'll put them down as a couple of the decade.
Might be the only one, to be honest.
no, there's Natasha and that guy last week, remember?
God, yeah, God, I forgot about that one. I kind of removed that one from my mind, to be honest.
We've got quite a few couples in this in these wilderness years, You wait till we get there.
You wait. You wait, Sarah, you wait.
Sort of something going on, but not really. And that's when we get fake Kate turns up at the door.
Yeah.
And that's when she sort of plays into the I don't know what it's trying to do, really.
She's playing into his desires.
That's the word, yeah. This second half, as all of that setup is great. There's a mystery, there's something going on. Kate's been drawn to the house. There's a haunting, all of that stuff. This second part with the actual explanations is the boring part for me. We get evil Kate, like demon pretending to be Kate. Time guy turns up and is like, that's not the real Kate. A real Kate runs down to get the book, the demonic book thing, because it's obviously got some special powers.
Yeah.
She gets knocked out because that jar with the giant maggot falls on her head.
Yeah.
There's an earthquake and it falls on her head, smashes on her head.
Why wouldn't it?
And knocks her out. That's when
I was trying to work out where maggot jar came from. It's an early story, isn't it?
Oh, Green Death.
Green Death. Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
Cliff Jones in Wales.
Cliff. Yeah. No, you're right. I was trying to remember.
So she's knocked out. So then real Kate is fighting demon Kate with this magic book, and they seemingly get rid of her and stuff. Then there's a talk about getting downstairs into the basement for some reason.
She's kind of like, why? And they're like, just do it, so she does.
But then the basement turns out to be a whole cave system. That's what I didn't get. Is there a whole cave system underneath the ground?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I wasn't fully with it by this point either.
She goes to the basement, and then there's railings, and she's in like Wiki Hole tourist park or whatever it is. Like, it's not someone's basement under there.
I mean, that is the whole thing he keeps saying, don't go in the basement, don't go in the basement. The basement is like going to be a thing.
Yeah, do you know what, maybe it was just me eating my dinner, but I didn't see her actually go through a door.
I didn't either.
1 minute she was on her way, and the next she was coming down some railings filming somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I blinked, or I might have just walked away for a second. I don't know. I didn't see her. Mark was eating his dinner and I was trying not to nod off, apparently.
You were blinking.
I was blinking.
One blink and you missed the most important part, how they all got down into the caves.
All right, dinner man.
So anyway, they all end up in the caves at some point. And then again, all of this talk, well, it's culty stuff, because actually we did see at the beginning the Colonel doing some culty stuff, and I thought, oh no, here we go. This is what I don't like. You got all the candles out and everything. Oh, and did you notice? I mean, if you're a fan of the Spice Girls video, Who Do You Think You Are? I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there's a candle in these caves, and it's like a hand and each finger is like a wick, a candle wick. It's like a hand like that, and it just reminded me in the Spice Girls video. There's a guy with like obviously like a glove and has like all candles on their hand, and it's like goes like. Anyway, watch the Spice Girls video, everyone. It's a bit Dæmos Rising is in there.
Right. That's what you were thinking of, the music video to the Spice Girls.
Yeah. Because it's cool. You don't really see that very often. Someone's hand and each finger.
I thought you were going to say in real life.
Well, you don't see it anywhere. Don't see it anywhere. The hand candles.
The only time you see that is like in Beauty and the Beast. What's his name? The candle. His hands are candles, aren't they? Yeah, his hands are candles.
His he is
a candle, but his hands are candles.
His head is a candle, and his whole arms are candlesticks as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like
his head and hands are candles.
Well, he should have been down there too, but no, this is everything.
Can you imagine? You have the man from the Spice Girls video in the background. Yeah.
Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and they're like, the mistress is here.
The Damon Demon video. That's what's in the Damon Demon music video. So speaking the cellar and down the stairs, and you came down. Luke Lethbridge Stewart was there. I don't know. I'm making this up.
What was that?
That's his music song.
Well, speaking of the demons,
yeah,
we see Demon gets resurrected or whatever.
He looks great.
He's a big CGI demon.
I preferred original Demon. I'll be honest.
Well, I was going to say it's no guy in tights this time, is it?
No guy in tights. No, I did prefer original Demon.
Well, at least with the original demon, it was an actor in tights, but his mouth was moving. This one, it was very like an early 90. It was like a computer game demon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like the near like if Sims
It
did the
looked
demons.
great. It looked great. It didn't do it for me.
Well, the mouth didn't move. It was just
Yeah.
a like a big like inflatable person. And it just sort of bobbed around. And then if the mouth had moved,
And then the Spice Girls man was there.
Spice Girls man was there, then it would have looked a bit better. But then also again they fall into that Doctor Who hole of it can't move its mouth, but there's lots of dialogue for it to say, so it just cuts
Yeah.
back to.
But I felt like his dialogue was nothing.
I can't tell. That's where I switched off. I just didn't interest me. I don't care where the demons come from or whatever.
She's like, "Why are you here? You summoned me." And then she's like, "Well, go away." And he's like, "Oh, but we're here to like take over." And she's like, "Well, if you're going to do that, I'm going home to my son and my father, because I love him." And he's like, "Love? Ha, ha, ha." I was just kind of like, I wasn't buying any of it. Like, I didn't feel the threat of him in any way.
No, not like the original one.
The original one, you felt the threat. You felt the danger that, like, he was going to take over. I didn't feel any threat from him.
I didn't really get. They didn't make it that clear because in the original one, they were aliens that had crashed. It was like a crashed spaceship, and
He
but it looked
sort of
like
mentions that a little. He talks about how they're always there and they're, like, monitoring and blah, blah. I just didn't feel like he was going to do anything. There was no,
no.
like, threat of, like, "No, you've summoned me. I'm going to take over. And, I take over you and you will, do my bit." I don't know. And she literally walks off. That is how unfazed she is by that demon. She's like, "I'm going to go." He's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I'm going to go be with my son. If you're going to go
Yeah,
take over, I'm going to go and be with him."
just thinking about it, it couldn't have been the basement. It must have been another dimension they walked through because he's really tall. He wouldn't have fitted in those caves. He's massive and he's underneath their house. I don't think so.
Maybe they have really high ceilings down there, Mark.
That is a big high ceilings. Those stairs were not too low. They must have walked through some portal or something. And then the Time Hunter guy doesn't really do very much in the
No.
end. It's a
That
bit of
whole
a
it's a shame because it builds obviously to that. It's based on that. But actually, for me, there was just no threat. But everything up until that point was great.
Yeah, it did for me. It just didn't go. It really started with the mystery, and then needed a bit more action or something else. Not just standing in the caves talking back and forth for a bit and then him
She
going.
literally walks away from him.
I wonder if they're trying to go for, because in the original Demons, that's basically what happened. Because in that one, they're all in the church and everything, if you remember, and
Yeah.
then he's taken over the Doctor, and then Joe's like, "Take me instead of the Doctor." And tries to sacrifice, and then he can't compute that she tried to sacrifice herself for the Doctor,
Yeah.
and then he just shrinks and goes away. I think it's basically that again, isn't it? He's like, "Oh, what do you mean you're going to go back to your houseboat? Houseboats, no!" And then it goes away. I think that's basically what they're trying to
The
do,
man
isn't
reaches
it?
the end of his fingers and he's like, "Oh, it's burning my hand."
It's like with all these returning things like the demons, really popular. It's the same every time they bring them back. Well, this is only the time they brought it back, but but like autons are the same thing. Oh,
Yeah.
plastic radio signals. I'll block the radio signals. Oh, they can't do it now. Done. That's happened like 4 times, 5
Yeah.
times if you include the Doctor Who thing. That's all the autons ever do. It's the same every time. They don't actually get defeated in a new way. It's just the same every time because that's how they get defeated. It's like that. Same with the Cybermen. It's always the sort of same thing, isn't it? Like gold or
But this
whatever.
one just felt, I mean, I think it just annoyed me how she could so easily walk away. I mean, you've built up that, like, this man kind of loves her. Why didn't he come in and sacrifice himself? That would have been much cooler. Do you know, if we talk about sacrifice, maybe she's in peril and he's like, "No, take me." And he's like, "What?" And he's like,
Yeah.
you've built this whole thing up that, like, he secretly has feelings for her, that sort of thing.
Well, at least they didn't do what in Auton and just randomly snog in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
yeah. But, like, they've built this up, haven't they? They've said, like,
Yeah.
you have feelings. They've built it all up. We've even seen, like, Future, like, show it. Why didn't they, like, do something to, like, if you're going to show it, use the characters you've got. She literally walks away. She's like, I'm going to go.
Did it explain why he asked her there in the first place? Like her? Because I know he said that she was always nice to him and stuff.
I know. I think he just... No.
It wasn't, apart from... It wasn't like the voice's secret. Because she doesn't know anything. It's not like she's part of UNIT to be like a threat or anything. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't actually so bad. And I think if you like the demons and you want a bit of extra demons and, you know, I think give it a try. By no means the worst.
No. It's just the ending.
The wilderness years tick. Can't call it the 90s because we've gone into the 2000s, but so we'll have to call it wilderness years. It'll have to be wilderness years Doscars coming up soon, everybody. We've got to remember them all. I'll have to get some pictures ready for you, I think, and then get all the categories together. I'll work out. We'll see who's the icon of the season as well, who's been in the most so far. But yeah, and after the Doscars, we'll be starting New Who. As we come up to the 20th anniversary of New Who, it'll be 20.
Not planned at all.
Actually, it'll be 20 years next month when it started. Started in March 2005.
Also, and we're going to BFI.
Oh, and we'll be at BFI soon, so we can do a little mini episode on that, can't we?
Yeah.
That's next week. Yay!
I know.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to tell you. Have you seen... It was going around on Twitter the other day. Have you seen this whole thing about Dodo being in The Simpsons?
No.
The latest Simpsons episode, which was released today on Disney Plus, The Past and the Furious, had a time travel related plot. And in the episode, there was a child therapist called Dr. Dorothea Chaplet. According to the episode's writer, she was named and designed after Dodo Chaplet, companion of the First Doctor.
There we are. And what episode's that?
It's called The Past and the Furious. It's on Disney Plus.
What season?
It just said the latest, which was came out last week on Disney Plus. So whatever the latest one is.
I'm working backwards. The Fast and the Furious, 36. I mean, it might not be on UK Disney yet.
Oh, okay. Maybe
we've only got season 35. Oh no, we do have season 36. Maybe it's up now. No, we're still on 35.
Yeah, that's clever. There you go. Dodo, of all places.
Dodo lives on.
Yeah. So anyway, it just reminded me because we'll see Dodo on the big screen. But anyway, in the meantime, everyone, you can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and possibly Twitter at 2WatchWho, and follow us on patreon.com/2WatchWho. And yeah, we'll see you in the meantime. Bye.
Watch Who.